Good morning, 8:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, August 28th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to focus this morning here as we start this Monday morning. So stay positive. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. With XRP, it's not about price today. If you're an XRP holder, it's very, very important to understand we are in the accumulation phase, and you found your buy-in. And now it's your duty, even if you own as much as you want, because we're still in a bear market. We have not done anything more than a bear market rally. It's your job to make sure that you have the funds, excuse me, the dry powder set for you to be able to buy in 20% below your buy-in. The biggest misconception for XRP is that I want to sell it back into cash. Remember, we bought XRP for this next chapter. If we're switching from a fiat currency to a new paperless money, a new digital currency, I'm not looking to sell my XRP back into fiat. I think that's the biggest misconception. The reason I bought XRP is not to sell it back for the dollar. I'm looking for a future down into 2028 and beyond where we don't have the greenback in the USA, where normal countries don't have their typical fiat, your currency, where it's backed by a new digital era. So for me, when it comes to buying XRP and when I'm going to sell it, I'm not looking necessarily to sell it. I'm looking to use it in the next chapter as a way of payment. So whether that means buy a house, buy a car, buy groceries, buy precious metals, buy survival gear, I'm looking to do that in the next chapter with digital currency, not with fiat. I believe in the next part of this chapter, yes, it's going to take us until approximately mid to late 2028 for the last financial institution and or bank to use the old SWIFT framework, which means they don't have to be ISO transparent or at least compliant until sometime in 2028 if they've got their appropriate approvals for their extensions. Most countries, however, end of 2024 have an agreement that they will start beta testing the new HTML framework. Mid to late 2025 is when most of them will transfer into it for real. That's when their beta testing ends. Some of them have extended all the way out until 2028 and say that they will use a multi-layer. So some people and some transactions as part of the bank or institution will use the new framework and some won't, as it'll be a slow transition. So with that being said, we have to pay attention to the actual charts. We have to pay attention to our emotions as well, because it's not all going to happen in one day, and a lot of people won't be here when they finally get the reward that they've been looking for. So pay attention each day, but understanding that we've still got about 5 years to go in the grand build. That doesn't mean we can't spike parabolically. That doesn't mean in 2028 we can't be working from all-time highs and out. What it means is we've got a lot of liquidity to build, and we've got a time right now in history where we're not quite there yet. So this is the accumulation phase, and if you understand what that means and you buy accordingly, I'm not looking to buy right now to sell in a bear market. I accumulate in a bear market so that I can become very wealthy in the bull market. I do it every cycle. Last cycle I did it in crypto. Many cycles before I did it in the stock market. I've done it in commodities and precious metals. This just happens to be where I'm at now, and where I like being in crypto. I like the 24/7 market. I like the volatility. I like the liquidity. I like the essence of manipulation. And I prefer for it not to be regulated beyond where it's at, because we can have massive spikes up and down. So with that being said, this morning with XRP, we had converging indicators yesterday. So the weekly, we very easily closed over the daily, the 200-day. That's at 51 cents. We were up near 51.8, 52 cents on the close, 519. We have pulled down now here today, but we did close over. We're still at 517, so the weekly we had a nice close. We didn't close over the 20, but we still maintained support over the 200. Now the daily is where the problem was, when we talked about how we were starting bearish to the week. And anybody who was part of that live yesterday, it got 1,200 views. There was about 160 people in there during the live. We're able to get a stay out in front of this. We talked about how we were bearish in the daily. We had a decent close in the weekly. However, we were well below the 20-day. So ultimately, we were still looking bearish according to the daily. So I said we were going to come down and retest the lower support of the uptrending support, which is part of this short term. Let's bring this into the smaller time frame. This is part of the short-term bear flag setup. And we've talked about this, the overextending downtrending resistance from prior in the pattern, from the wedge. I just extended it out. So that wedge resistance is still being a problem. We've got this uptrending support that formed this pattern formation we're in. And some call it a bear flag. I still see a bull flag because we came down with this wick, pulled back up, and now we're doing the volatility. The apex can bring you all the way out to August 31st, as we've been talking about, which is Thursday. That's just 4 days away. Right now, we're looking at the uptrending support, which we were able to hold at 513. We came back above the 20-minute, or the 30-minute and the 20-day, I should say. The 20-day and the 30-minute time frame. So that's the first sign. We could have got rejected there, but we did not. So now we start to look at this, the 1 hourly. Are we going to get rejected on the 1 hour, the 2 hour, or are we just going to come back up and confirm this formation rotation down? So it's one of those things. We're either going to get rejected here very quickly and come through the 513 and ultimately start trending down towards the 498, 497 area, or because we still are showing the weekly support on the 200, we've come back over here. We're going to look for a rejection first at 522 approximately. Maybe come back up to 524 since we trended down, like down to support. Hit this as new resistance. And then if it does, you can consolidate and maybe play this pattern out. But right now, it looks like the pattern's playing out a little bit. We were in a falling channel. If it does break past approximately 52, then if we break 52.4, we could invalidate this drop down and try to push out with that added liquidity at 529. But we're going to have to break out of this formation to try to make that first step of the rally up into approximately 542. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to validate this cross here. We crossed the 20, crossed 50, then the 100. We're trying to get a proper rejection up here to confirm if we're going to go back down to the 2020 uptrend. Or if you break up here, let's just say go to 558, break back down to 54 cents, and then you use that as the new support and try to bounce out. That's what we're looking at if we're trying to break bearish or bullish. And ultimately, you would have to, if you're trying to break bullish, get over the 200-day up here at 583 and then start pushing out. However, if you're going bearish, you break this short-term formation, lose the ascending triangle support at 497, and then you ultimately trend down to the swing low at 435. And then if you start to trend in that direction, that is how you can start to rework the 2020 uptrend. You can see how we got rejected here so far. We're below the daily time frame. We've got 503, which is our in-between layer after 513, and the 494 formation. But this is the all-time pattern. This, you don't need any of the nuances. You don't need any of the short-term movements. Bottom line is we got rejected at 504, roughly 503. We've got one support underneath at 503 after being rejected up here at, let's see, 542. So this 542 you got rejected. Now you've got missed out on the daily time frame. We closed below. Now you're trying to see if your support is still available at 503. If that's not available, then you have 494 in the short-term chart. But if you're looking at the all-time chart, once you lose this, you've really only got two layers. You've got a support down here at 482, and then you've got 428, and then you've got the uptrend at about 37.7. The all-time chart looks slightly different because Bitstamp's numbers look a little bit different than Binance. So just pay attention to that. I'm going to be sharing a story earlier this morning. I'm not going to read it now for interest of time. But Binance will stop 39 liquidity pools on September 1st. A lot of BUSD, a lot of BNB token pairings. Like I said, that was all a scam. They don't have the proper liquidity, so that's all going to come to a head soon, and I think it's starting to now. So I'll read that in a separate article just so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Make sure you hit that like button if you got anything out of this update, as it greatly helps push my content. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you appreciate my work. Lacking on the subscribers over the last couple weeks, but that's to be expected as the crypto industry now loses a lot of its viewers. A lot of the interest and buzz has gone away. But I think this is the most trying time to be part of crypto, because if you understand what's going on now, you can't be tricked. If you're looking to trade your favorite crypto, look in the video description below. We've got Femex, lowest spot maker fees in the USA. So take a look at that. And there's also Mexi and Uphold if you're interested. I'll add BitGet back down there, but it's not available for the USA, but I've had requests. So with the market cap, we're looking to see, do we break down the wall here at 26.7 billion and work down, or can we maintain this 27.6 billion work up and try to break past this formation at 28.3 billion and ultimately start working up towards that 30.89 billion. We won't know until we either lose this area or we continue to break out and try to retest this bearish cross at the 20 through the 100 and see if we're going to have a death cross here. Make sure you hit that like button. Have a positive morning. Don't play the victim. We're winners here, so you have to have all the information to make an educated and informed decision. And remember, unity over division. We bring the light here in a world full of darkness.